Welcome to part 2 of our interview with Ron Liggett. A few highlights for this episode are his anecdotes about the Masters of Wisdom, playful ways of encouraging youths to open up to the spiritual, and how he sheds light on building strength for ourselves and others to deal with what's going on in the world. Please enjoy the episode.
In each of our bodies is controlled by an elemental being. So do we want to talk to that and say, gee whiz, why can't we fix this? And why am I suffering that? And how come I got this illness and so on? That's the future. We'll all be doing that because we can do it. It's part of, there's no block to communication except up here in our heads, right? All right.
But it's
Sorry,
harder. But it's
Clover.
harder now because our attention is we're becoming increasingly distracted in our modern world. So I guess that's
Yes.
our challenge now.
Yes, the elementals we communicate a lot these days is monitor elementals, and we communicate all the time with those ones. This,
You
this
know,
the screen.
Europeans now are becoming much more into this than the Americans. There's
Mm,
people in Eastern Europe that lead tours now to meet the fairies and the all the beings.
mm,
Yeah, I can send you links later if you want. And there's a
great.
famous one in Ireland too, Tanis Halliwell, which also is fully clairvoyant with the elemental kingdom, and she has books and videos. I'm saying this because there are a lot of people now awakening to this. Michael Rhodes in America that are having profound experiences with the elemental and angelic kingdoms. And
Mm,
it's like anything else. One or two people have an experience, but then once it spreads, like everything does that's true, then more and more people just accept it. Just like now yoga and mindfulness. It's like, people just don't even, it's of course. What do you mean? It's normal.
yeah.
So eventually we're going to get there. The question is what's going to get there first, an AI dystopia or a disconnection with life or the new age that we're all hoping for.
Or both simultaneously, maybe. Yes, one thing that attracts me a lot in that is that to try to establish this contact or to try to have this experience, one thing that you have to do for sure is to pay a lot of careful attention to nature, to yourself, to your perceptions, and through that you learn inevitably something you are going to learn. So that's a great thing about this whole area, I think. Yeah, and
It,
yes,
yeah,
go
it's
ahead, please.
helping people once you lose the fear,
Mm,
because again, what is the block for all of us? It's fear. We may not even be aware of it, but
mm,
that, stories of ghosts or, creatures, or if I open up, boy, what could happen? I could be scared to go home because I'm starting to see things in the corner of the room.
mm,
And so to me, the theosophy is the main role here is to bring the fear level down that no, everything, all this, it's natural, it's spiritual, it's part of life, it's nothing to be afraid of because your fears are blocking you. They're sending you back into fundamentalism because you don't know where else to go.
yeah.
So that we,
So you had contact and you worked with Jeffrey Hodson, who was, of course, a very prominent theosophist and a remarkable person. Could you tell us something about him, something that you feel is the most important to share, and maybe something that we cannot read online ourselves?
well, it's the old story, it's like his, with a Buddhist, basically his loving kindness was so powerful that everything else was almost irrelevant. It's just that's why I would encourage theosophists, young theosophists, to travel, to meet spiritual people, to expose themselves to different environments, different cultures, different ways of tuning into spirit without prejudice. I mean, we could go to the Altai and talk to the shamans out there, and we can go to the mountains in China and meet beings who are, can float above the ground. I mean, but we have to be willing to want to do it, have to have the courage to do it, and then be able to handle what that affects us with. And that's the whole point of this in a way is, are we willing to handle our own growth? Or do we say, I'll grow a certain way. I'm an expert in the seven rays. I can talk about this forever, but how has this affected me? How has this affected my friends? Because one thing you've all, I'm sure, experienced is the ripple effect. You get more enlightened, you get joyful, you get more present, whatever it is. And then your family, your friends, they start to feel it, they sense it too. So I call it the family and friends benefit, because people around you are going to absorb your excitement, your joy, and all this, your awakening. So if nothing else, we're doing it for the people around us.
Yeah, that's
That's why.
beautiful. Mhm. Yeah, and I'm always most inspired by the compassion, or like you said, the loving kindness of people like Jeffrey Hodson, and of course our fellow uh, TS members, WFYT members, and you as well, Ron. And I think one of the joys of being able to do this podcast is to meet people like you, um, someone with not just knowledge and experience, but heart. Someone who cares, and someone who cares about the world genuinely, and really feel that from you. And yeah. So thank you very much for spreading your light. Um, yeah, we're very so we're very interested about also about how about environmental degradation and the humanitarian crises that are going on in our world. So, like perhaps you could shed some light on how, like, how cooperation with the angelic kingdom can help uh, alleviate suffering in the world. I remember learning that the devas play a part in helping uplift us to a state where we can appreciate beauty. Is that right?
Very much, yes.
Wow. Okay. And yeah, so in that case, how are they continually doing that? And how 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 have they been, in a way, in layman terms, helping our world through these crises? And um, how can we, in a way, um, I would say, how can theosophy be relevant to help us take action or to approach um, the crisis that's going on in the world? And how does the angelic kingdom play a part as well?
Well, throughout history, the angelic kingdom has affected us through music, color, art, dance, and given us a deeper appreciation of beauty, making us more sensitive as they are sensitive. I mean, almost you could say the ladder of evolution is a ladder of increased sensitivity, which then brings about an increased awareness. Each initiation is an expansion of awareness. So these beings now become, as they're becoming closer to humans in various ways, are making us more sensitive because they do not function in the mind realm that we do. I mean, we have these concrete minds that have become wonderful prisons, and we rattle the bars and scream and yell and have fits, but they don't have that. Ideally, our minds become this beautiful ladder of abstraction and intellect, this Kabbalistic journey through the universe. But on here, where we are now, obviously, we haven't done that. We're caught. And so by merging closer to us, because again, your bodies, our bodies are diva essences, lunar petries. I mean, they are literally, we are made out of these kingdoms. And with Joffrey's book on giving birth, he talks about what women, and the angels work with the women, giving birth. A very beautiful book. And he talks about the angels at Christmas, and about there's the angels with death and dying. I mean, it's there. You can create connections to some of the elementals, perhaps in your home and other places. But with the higher angelic realms, it's more of an opening, more of a willingness to be more feeling yourself and to act in the world in ways that allow nature to heal instead of ways that are destroying nature. And I think we all know ways of doing that. But part of it is just being individually conscious of what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we're eating, how we're walking. Thich Nhat Hanh, the famous Vietnamese Buddhist, spent time what? Just walking on the earth. And we say, oh, walking meditation, that sounds good. But actually, let's say it's deeper than that. Let's say that each step then connects you to the mother. So you create this flow between you and the mother, constant, that builds and builds as your awareness. You get sensitive. There's yogis I know that we'd be sitting around and they say, oh, so and so is coming. And we'd look around, we didn't see him. How do you know? Because, oh, I can feel his footsteps on the grass half a mile away, because everything's connected. And so, but that's what we've lost, that sense of, gee, you mean now science is saying, well, everything, and we live in one field, everything's interactive, everything's connected. The physicians are talking about all the systems in our bodies communicating with each other and so forth. So to get practical, like you're saying, Clover, I mean, we have to just start working on that. Keep a journal. Go work with a candle every day, or a bowl of water, or whatever it is that you're drawn to. Uh, Anyone who's in the arts, sculpture, any kind of painting, again, they already have a channel to these kingdoms. They can expand it. They can ask. The old joke. I mean, you have to ask to get. But again, what I've seen over the years is that part of us asks, but part of us says, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet. So that's why I think the study of the theosophical books in some way makes us more ready. It gives us strength. And the crisis of our time will test the strength of all of us, not to be swept away into something that's not good for ourselves and for the planet. So everything we do, every experience, every workshop, every group, and the Buddhists talk about the Sangha, half of the journey is just the group, supportive group. I think all of us need this in our lives. I mean, ideally, we'd all have a theosophical group around us. Oh, great. I'm with my brothers and sisters. We can share everything. We can bring in the energies. The masters will use a group. They're not using individuals much anymore. The Aquarian energy is more group. So find the group. If you can't get a spiritual group, get a sewing group or a reading group. Doesn't matter. It's the group energy that's non-judgmental. Just, oh yeah, come on, join us. We're reading this book. So what? Just join the group. And then from there, you can start feeling safe enough to bring in new energies. Because remember, subconsciously, we've all been, whatever in the past, tortured, whatever. So there's a step to get through that initial fear of opening up, especially with the angels, because again, their energy is, whoa, light your fire. It's there. And so, whoa, now what? So again, context for energy, context for thought, context for feeling. And then we can feel comfortable, we can go forward.
Thank you. That's a great message. let's talk a little bit about difficult moments, because difficult moments happen, and for people who have some attention or some call for spirituality, sometimes this world can be like unwelcoming and hostile, and also some very intensive experiences can happen. So, how do we deal with difficult moments in life? Is there something that helped you in your experience that you could share?
Yeah, I've had a lot in my life too, like I'm sure many have, you know. I mean, physically, attacked or shot at and all that, but that's the physical. Um, the emotional is, the intense pressure from family and friends to shift you around, to pull you out of where you want to go. And mentally, the waves and waves of confused thought and misdirection and lies and et cetera that's happening right now. So, in my experience, to answer that would be to increase, if possible, your meditation practice. Because the more space we create between an action and a reaction, the more space we have to allow our spiritual selves to be anchored. Because before everything happened to me, I reacted. But after meditating and learning and studying all this, now I step back a little bit and I can say, okay, well, how do I want to act? Do I want to go here? Do I want to go there? Maybe I don't feel anger at all, but I want to show it because these people need to see what they've done or whatever it is. You choose your response because now it's a waves of they're trying to bury us in a sense in toxicity of various kinds on all levels. So that's why grounding with the earth, with the angelic kingdoms, whether in the meditation, we didn't get into the whole Antakarana and all that stuff, but it's all the same process. It's grounding in the Mother Earth, grounding in ourselves, connecting to the higher. I mean, that's only two choices, really. We have the vertical, we're going up. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And then we have the horizontal. Oh, what do I want? What do you want? What do I want? I don't know. What do we want? So then it's the cross. We're on the cross, and it's more and more pressure. So again, the easy way is drugs. People go, oh, do your psilocybin, do your ketamine, do your ecstasy, do your whatever, uh, one way, or join a cult that tells you exactly how to think, what to do. So people are tremendously pressured. They're using alcohol, they're using things just to get away from it all. I mean, how many young people I know that are alcoholics? It's like in my day, some of them got lost up in cocaine or something, but it's different now. It's really sad actually to see. Uh, and other drugs, obviously, too. And I'm sure more drugs will come because, again, there's an energy that does not want us to be who we are, put it bluntly. And
Mm.
that's what the masters of everybody's working on the same thing. We need to save humanity. Humanity is the prize, has been said, perhaps. The
Mm.
prize is humanity. So here we go. And not to get stuck in in the past, even if it's a theosophical past. I mean, just keep going. Take the
Mm.
jewels, take the best part of everything, and then just keep going. Because there's tendencies in organizations to be calcified, if I can be
Mm.
blunt.
There's
And
a very strong message from the masters that I read from Jeffrey Hodgson's Light on the Path is to unite or perish, for humanity to unite or perish. Well, with uh, it's not just things that are going around the world that are worrying, but the crises that are going around the world that are worrying, but also the young generation. Like you said, they are, of course, I feel like every generation is different yet the same. So this generation, because I'm a teacher, I can see that um, a lot of young children, even as young as 12 or 13, are quite exposed to violence, I think, because of the spread of, because of the wide accessibility of social media. And I feel like right now it's even harder. Like everyone seems, well, the youth seems to be more, they tend toward being more individualistic and materialistic. And so how do you suggest us as Theosophists and just as any adult who is concerned to encourage and help youths to become more sensitive, to connect more with nature and other people, especially when they are more drawn to the opposite side.
Yeah, exactly. And you answered that with the word. You said, how do we encourage? And that to me is the key word here. How do we encourage? Because each soul has its karma. The planet has a certain karma. The masters are limited what they can do because of the individual and collective karmas. So if we encourage by our example, by having the books, by having class, whatever we're doing, encourage people to have access to this information, more truthful information, more whatever you want to call it, then we're doing our job because otherwise, and again, there's a term in the East, it's called, we would call it detachment. So to answer the other part of this, it's learning detachment and having your heart. People say, oh, you're so detached, you don't feel anything. Actually, it's the opposite. You feel everything. Your compassion expands, but you, at the same time, ideally, your detachment expand. The two need to go together. There are two, people have called them, some of the Buddhists call them the two powerful weapons. These are powerful, powerful spiritual weapons, compassion and detachment. I mean, we don't see them as swords and guns. These are the real weapons. Compassion that opens us up so we're totally sensitive, totally feeling. We can understand and relate to everybody who comes up to us. There are no strangers. There are no evil people. There's just people suffering. And at the same time, all we can do legitimately as spiritual teachers is encourage. Okay, encourage whatever part of them shows any light and discourage or whatever the other parts that are more of the dark. And then at the same time, step back and saying, time is not the issue. I'm planting a seed here. In 20 lifetimes, that seed might sprout. I won't be around to see it, but so what? Our job is to plant the seeds. And that's why the young theosophy is such a beautiful thing because you can plant the seeds, step back from the results, forget the results. That's a higher pay level than all of us have. Plant the seeds, be encouraging, and you know, communicate.
Yeah, that's so essential. And I think, well, a lot of us are caught up in trying to force a result. So,
It's
without
called being
realizing, like you
young.
said, huh? Sorry?
It's called being young.
Being, yeah, wanting to get to where we want to get to immediately. Well, I'm not talking about myself. I'm no longer like part of the youth these days, I think. But yeah, it's this kind of an attitude, especially strong in the youth. Um, yeah, so I think it's very valuable to, like you said, I think it's a very powerful insight that you shared that the result is beyond us, right? It's on a much higher dimensions actually, and we can't see the results, we can't know it, but we trust that we are flowing in the right direction, and despite being pulled backwards at times,
Yes.
we are still flowing forward. And yeah, planting seeds trusting in the process is very important. Like every day as a teacher, I struggle with this personality, like caught between this personality that wants to see the result immediately. So sometimes I can get frustrated at the kids, but then I think it's so important and it's so humbling to try to take a bigger view and just see that I'm planting seeds in the children. Yeah.
And when you speak to them, speak to their souls, not their personalities, and see what you feel. See what kind of
That's
telepathy you
beautiful
can get
practice.
going, soul to soul instead of personality to personality.
That's
Yeah,
a beautiful
I'm not
practice.
talking to you, go away. I'm talking to your soul now, right? Something like that. Yes.
That's where the seeds will go. The personality won't, it doesn't matter. But the soul, that's where we're putting them in that little bit higher locker up there.
Yeah. Thank you for many things that you expressed, especially for these powerful spiritual weapons and for humanity is the price. It's very powerful, like well phrased message, I think. And so, how do you think do we attract young people? After all, I understand from everything we shared through addressing their needs, through understanding their experience, by being in tune with the times. Is there anything else? How do we do it?
Well, I don't think they want another belief system. I think they want to feel it. And I think even if you just hold meditation groups, if you take some of the pictures from Joffrey's work and just say, these beings, should we just try to talk to them? Because sometimes it just takes one kid, one person to say, oh my God, I see it, I feel it. Uh, and then the other kids, catch it. And they say, oh, wow, really? You do? You do? I mean, that can open a door right there, but you have to kind of, set the stage. Today we're going to talk to angels. Today we're going to meditate. Today we're going to, depending on the age group, we're going to figure out what our ray types are. Or, we just play what you play. It's play. It's not serious. It's just you're playing with it. Because trust me, all the souls coming in, there's some very high sensitive beings that all they need is a good excuse to be able to express. I used to ask people, well, tell me who you talked to when you were a kid, that nobody else saw. And so many people would say, oh, yeah, I had this friend, we talked. And it was just like, we just don't know the kids are having these experiences. Or, I'm trying to study past lives. Do you think you ever remember a past life you have? Just be humble. We're learning from these kids. And they say, well, I've always felt this or that or whatever. Just let them be the guides, not us. We just, well, your school teachers know this very well. You set up your room, and then then you have your space to do it.
Yeah, I
So
think that's the best way to learn and experience, to just not come under authoritarian instruction and direction. Like that's not going to create like an organic learning environment.
yes,
So
from the
yeah,
bottom up.
yeah, I think that's really inspiring. Um, and just as a final reflection, could you if you could offer one piece of advice to a seeker looking to turn their philosophical understanding into a vibrant, active life of theosophy, what could it be? And also, perhaps you could we could also you could also share some final bits of wisdom that from the masters based on your experience. Yeah. Thanks.
For the first part, I mean, it'll sound, basically keep moving. What screws us up is stopping. Keep moving. like you're saying, we're going to one step forward, two steps back, whatever it is. But if we just keep moving toward the light, toward the goal, toward a greater self, toward more sensitivity, whatever you want to call it, because it's a journey. There's a goal, goals, 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 but it's really the journey. We're taking the journey. So the difference between any of us is simply, are we continuing or not? Oh, I got this diagnosis. I got a year to live. I'm going to stop everything or whatever. Or, I've read all this. It doesn't make any sense. I'm done. People have so many excuses to just stop and just say, well, okay, but where can we put our feet next? Maybe this path isn't right. Maybe there's another path. Encourage them to keep moving, keep going forward, because otherwise we'll be overwhelmed with darkness, despair, the news, the crisis here, the crisis there. It's going to be overwhelming. So we're encouraging to keep going. That's why we set up things and help people do this. As far as but I really think that the keynote that came to me when I was meditating earlier was just we're building strength in ourselves and ideally in others to deal with the stuff that's going on now and will go on in the next few years. Strength from what? From knowledge. Yes, experience too, but also just knowledge, knowing how, I was rereading Blavatsky. It's like, how old are we? How many millions of years have we been doing this dance? And, you know, how long has it taken to get from there, blah, 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 blah. And it's like that perspective helps people relax a little bit about and become a little more detached. Well, how was your life in Lemuria? Were you this tense? Just you play, you have fun, because who knows what people are holding on to that they have no way of expressing. Like, you give the artist, finally they get the paints, the pastels, the paper and everything. Oh my God, I'm in heaven. I can now actually paint. Or you put somebody in front of a piano. It's like, that's what we're doing. We're giving them what they need to be who they are, not who we are or who we want. The masters are light, they're subatomic. We are a mixture of light and heavier matter. That's the difference. So everything we do for each other lightens the load literally, because the goal is light, from darkness to light, from matter to, from the atomic to the subatomic. It's very scientific. Uh, and everything that we're doing along those lines to lighten up ourselves and the world through shining a light, saying, hey, let's look at the angelic kingdom. Let's look at humanity's history through Isis Unveiled and Secret Doctrine. Let's look at this. What does it mean to us right now if we've had millions of lives or hundreds of thousands of lives? What is the lesson we're trying to learn or we're not learning that we have to repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, civilization after civilization? So to me, you're building strength. You could call it courage too, but it's really an ability to deal with an overwhelming world in ways that my generation never had to deal with. And you talk about the distraction with the kids. Yes, there's a way, there's a force trying to suck them into this false reality, call it that, or silicon world, or whatever you want to call it, artificial world, because humanity is these beings of, if you look at humanity as one being, imagine humanity, we're all part of it, but imagine all of us writ large as one being. What would we look like? What would we feel like? What would it be there? How would that be cool or what? Because that's a reality. That's as true as anything else. But it's like playing around. I used to have fun by having people meditate and tune into their future selves. Tune into your future, have the kids do this. Play around. How do you see yourself in 20 years? Or how do you see yourself, whatever? And let them be creative. And if you lived before, what would you have been? Would you have been a pirate, a witch? What would you have been? And then because once a little door is open, then you can start bringing in other concepts.
Yeah.
But as far as
Mhm.
the message would be that everybody needs us. The masters need us to manifest on our level. The angels need us to heal the earth. Uh, so there's a real responsibility now that uh, is part of our lives as theosophists.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's beautiful that as serious and as urgent as realizing our unity is, it's also equally important to keep it light and playful and not take it too seriously.
This too shall pass.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
masters have watched a lot of things pass. So they can step back. Okay, guys, come on, try again.
Yes, and we do. And we try again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all the wisdom expressed and shared. Thank you so much. I always think that, and we often share that a great privilege of being involved with this theosophical work is meeting very inspiring people, very special people. And so certainly what we shared today, I think, helps a lot to open a new view on life. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
It's a great pleasure. I would keep talking and
Yes.
talking for days.
Thank you. Yeah.
Give out my phone number. I'll talk to anybody anytime. No problem.
Oh,
Great. I
yeah.
will use that one day.
Yeah. I find you very approachable, friendly, genuine as well. And yeah, it would be great to chat again in future. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we did. Like and subscribe to our podcast for more episodes. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms as well as on YouTube. Till next time.